Is truth a fixed, absolute answer, delivered once and for all? What if the same profound question, posed to the same enlightened master, could yield two diametrically opposite answers, both, in their own way, revealing a deeper truth? We often seek certainty, a definitive yes or no to the most fundamental mysteries of existence. But what if genuine wisdom lies beyond such simple binaries, demanding a radical shift in our very approach to truth? Today, we journey into a profound Buddhist parable that challenges our deepest assumptions about belief, doubt, and the nature of ultimate reality. We'll witness the Buddha give two astonishingly different answers to the same timeless question. Is there a God? This isn't just a story about ancient wisdom, it's a direct, transformative guide for anyone grappling with faith, skepticism, and the yearning for authentic understanding. Prepare to discover why true enlightenment transcends mere intellectual assent, and why your behavior here on earth matters more than any cosmic debate. Chapter 1. The Devout Seeker, a Life of Faith. A lingering doubt. One day, in the early morning, Gautama Buddha was sitting quietly in a serene garden with his disciples, immersed in the tranquil wisdom of the Dhamma. As the sun began to paint the sky with soft hues, a man arrived silently, almost imperceptibly, and stood in the shadows. This was no ordinary villager, he was a great devotee of Lord Rama, a revered deity in the Hindu tradition. His devotion was profound and unwavering. He had personally built many temples across the country, dedicating immense wealth and effort to his faith. For countless years, he had devoted himself to the service of Lord Rama, spending his days in prayer, constantly chanting Rama's sacred name, and contemplating Rama's greatness and divine attributes. He was old, his body nearing its last years. Yet despite his many years of dedicated spiritual effort, despite his deep faith and unwavering devotion, he was troubled. He had not attained enlightenment, nor had he found ultimate peace. A fundamental doubt, a gnawing uncertainty, lingered in his heart. He yearned to know for sure if there truly was a God, a supreme being, or not. When he heard about the enlightened one, the Buddha, whose wisdom was said to pierce through all illusion, he came to get his deepest doubt cleared. Waiting until he felt that nobody would notice him talking to the Buddha, he cautiously approached. "Oh, enlightened one," he asked, his voice filled with a desperate plea for certainty. "Please tell me the truth, and the truth only. Is there a God?" The Buddha, with his profound intuition, immediately knew the man to be a great devotee of Lord Rama, a man whose entire life had been defined by his faith. He looked at that man with utmost seriousness and, with a clear, firm voice, as if in absolute conviction, said, "No, my friend, there is no God." Those disciples that had gathered, who had often asked this very question to the Buddha only to be met with his profound silence, were now very relieved and filled with joy to finally know the definitive truth, that there was no God. They all started muttering between themselves, sharing what the Buddha had just told them, their minds suddenly free from the concepts of a judging deity. News of this spread like wildfire through the whole town. The entire town was celebrating, reveling in the freedom of the day on which the truth of no God was revealed by the enlightened one. They felt finally liberated from the rigid ideas of hell and heaven, and from the burden of someone sitting above to judge one's every action. Buddhist insight. This powerful opening introduces the theme of avidya, ignorance, and dukkha, suffering, arising from clinging to concepts, even concepts of God. The devotee's question reflects a universal human yearning for metaphysical certainty, but his doubt shows that his faith, though strong, is not experientially based. The Buddha's previous silence on the matter is a key point, suggesting a nuanced approach. The Buddha's direct no to the devotee is a masterful upaya, skillful means. For a devotee deeply attached to the concept of God, this no is a radical statement that dismantles his clinging to a fixed idea of God. Rather than a direct denial of ultimate reality, it frees him from the burden of a God who judges, allowing him to focus on his own actions. The disciples' relief highlights their own pre-existing conceptual attachments and the liberating feeling of shedding them. Chapter 2. The Materialist's Quandary, Doubt in the Face of Certainty. It was getting late in the evening, and once again, the disciples came back and sat around the Buddha, their minds perhaps still buzzing with the morning's revelation. Just then, another man arrived, This man was a staunch materialist and had been a fierce atheist all his life. He was renowned for his intellectual prowess and his ability to debate. He had, in fact, convinced thousands of people that there was no God, tirelessly spreading his message of skepticism and rationalism. He used to go to the most learned priests and scholars of his time and confidently defeat them in any argument about the existence of God, prideful in his intellectual victories. However, like the devotee, this atheist too was getting old. As the physical body weakens and the ultimate mystery of death looms closer, subtle suspicions began to arise even in his firmly rational mind. A gnawing doubt crept in. What if there is God? What if all my life, my arguments, my efforts to spread the "no God" message have been a colossal waste? What if I've led others astray? He was consumed by this new, unexpected doubt. He finally decided to know the truth definitively, to seek ultimate certainty, and so, he sought the enlightened one, the Buddha, hoping for a final, irrefutable answer. He slowly, almost cautiously, came up to where the Buddha was sitting and asked him, his voice tinged with a desperate intellectual curiosity and a subtle undercurrent of fear, "They say you are enlightened. Buddha, please tell me, without a doubt, if there is God?" The Buddha, with his profound intuition, immediately knew this man to be a lifelong atheist, a materialist, one whose identity was built upon the denial of God. He looked at that man with a clear, firm voice, as if speaking from absolute conviction, and said, "Yes, my friend, there is God." Buddha's disciples, who had just spent the entire day celebrating the truth of no God, were once again thrown into profound confusion. Their minds, having just released one set of conceptual chains, were now confronted with a seemingly contradictory statement from their own master. News of this second, contradictory answer spread quickly around town. The whole town was utterly confused. They had just rejoiced in the liberation from God, and now the Buddha seemed to be confirming his existence. This apparent paradox created a profound intellectual and spiritual dilemma for all who heard it. Buddhist insight. This segment highlights avidya, ignorance, and tanha, craving, in a different form, the clinging to the idea of no God, or the need for intellectual certainty. The atheist's doubt, triggered by old age and the fear of meaninglessness, signifies the inherent dukkha, suffering, of clinging to any fixed concept. Even atheism, the Buddha's definitive yes to the atheist, is another masterful upaya, skillful means. For someone attached to the denial of God, a direct affirmation can shatter their rigid intellectual framework, forcing them to look beyond their fixed concept. It challenges their identity built on denial. The disciples' confusion is a natural response to the Buddha's radical, non-dualistic approach, which transcends simplistic yes, no answers. Chapter 3. The Beyond of Belief, where truth truly resides. You see, in life, the belief that there is God, or the belief that there is no God, are both, in the ultimate sense, equally useless in the context of true liberation. They are mere concepts, intellectual positions that do not, by themselves, lead to genuine understanding or profound peace. These are battles of the mind, not realizations of truth. The Buddha then revealed the deeper truth behind his seemingly contradictory answers. He addressed the core purpose of human existence and ethical conduct. Irrespective of metaphysical debates, he posed a series of profound questions that cut directly to the heart of practical living. If there is a God, the Buddha might have asked, is that a reason to behave better in your life? Do you need the promise of heaven or the fear of hell to act with kindness and integrity? He paused, allowing the weight of the question to settle. And if there is no God, he continued, is that a reason to behave worse in your life? Does the absence of a divine judge give you license to act with cruelty or selfishness? The profound answer to both is a resounding no. Our ethics, our compassion, our conduct should not be predicated on external rewards or punishments, or on the existence or non-existence of a deity. They should be rooted in our inherent wisdom and understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings, and the natural consequences of our actions. So, the Buddha concluded, guiding them to the true path. To realize oneself, to truly find the truth, is to look inside of you, to examine your own mind, your own intentions, your own actions. It is not looking for a truth that is somewhere out there in the universe. an external validation or a fixed answer to a metaphysical question. Because life is short, finite, and precious, you can spend your whole life fruitlessly thinking and debating about if there is God or no God, endlessly caught in intellectual arguments. But here on earth, the Buddha emphasized bringing the truth back to the immediacy of existence. If you are good, you are good. If you are bad, you are bad. Your goodness or badness is determined by your actions, your choices, and their inherent karmic consequences, not by an external judge or a belief system. These are tangible realities, not abstract debates. The Buddha's ultimate concern was the cessation of suffering in this very life, through ethical conduct and the cultivation of wisdom, rather than speculation about unseen realms. Buddhist insight. This is the core teaching of the parable, highlighting the Buddha's pragmatic and experiential approach to truth. He transcends the binary of God or no God by declaring both concepts ultimately useless if they don't lead to genuine transformation and skillful action. The emphasis is on right view, samaditthi, and right action, sammakamanta, that ethical behavior is inherently beneficial, regardless of external beliefs. The Buddha points inward. To realize oneself is to look inside of you, emphasizing self-reliance and direct experience over metaphysical speculation. The message that life is short reinforces anicca, impermanence, urging immediate action towards wholesome living. This parable challenges rigid adherence to any dogma, promoting an open, experiential approach to truth. Conclusion. The ultimate proof. Living the Dhamma here and now. The timeless parable of the two answers is far more than a clever anecdote. It's a profound, living testament to the Buddha's radical approach to wisdom, truth, and the cessation of suffering. It challenges our deep-seated human tendency to seek absolute certainty in external doctrines, revealing that genuine liberation blossoms when we transcend mere intellectual beliefs and embody the Dhamma through our actions. Key learnings for your personal Buddha story. Truth beyond concepts. The Buddha's two seemingly contradictory answers, to the devotee and the atheist, illustrate that ultimate truth transcends fixed concepts, labels, or intellectual arguments. Clinging to any rigid belief, even the belief in no God, can become a source of suffering. Tanha. Application. Approach fundamental questions with an open mind. Be willing to hold paradox. Recognize that intellectual answers are often limited. True understanding comes through direct experience and a mind free from rigid conceptualization. Focus on the present and action. The Buddha redirects attention from metaphysical speculation to the immediate reality of our actions and their consequences in this life. Now, application. Don't get caught in endless debates about things beyond your direct experience. Instead, focus your energy on cultivating wholesome actions, words, and thoughts in the present moment. This aligns with right effort, samma vayama, and right mindfulness, samma sati. Ethical conduct is intrinsic, not conditional. Your goodness is defined by your actions and intentions, not by whether you believe in a judging God or fear external punishment. Ethics are inherently beneficial. Application. Practice sila, ethical conduct, non-harming, honesty, kindness. Understand that these actions create positive karma, leading to well-being, regardless of your theological beliefs. Be good for goodness' sake. Self-reliance and inner exploration. The true path to understanding and liberation lies within. You must look inside yourself for the answers, not to external authorities or abstract philosophical debates. Application. Cultivate introspection and meditation. Trust your own capacity for wisdom. The Buddha shows the way, but you must walk the path yourself, uncovering your own truths. The pragmatism of Dhamma. The Buddha's approach is intensely practical. His aim is to alleviate suffering, and he will use any skillful means, upaya, to guide individuals towards that end, even if it means challenging their deeply held beliefs. Application. Be flexible in your approach to spiritual growth. Understand that different methods or perspectives might be necessary for different people or at different times. The ultimate goal is liberation, not adherence to a specific dogma. The Buddha's profound wisdom from this timeless parable invites us to cultivate a mind that is open, discerning, and utterly practical in its pursuit of truth. By transcending rigid beliefs, by focusing on our actions in the present, And by looking inward for understanding, we can sculpt a life of profound peace, boundless happiness, and genuine liberation. This is the essence of your authentic Buddha story. Thank you for watching, and may you always carry the profound peace and illuminating wisdom of these stories within your heart. Join our growing community by liking this video and subscribing to Buddha Story, where ancient wisdom beautifully meets modern mindfulness. What is one way you will choose to act with inherent goodness today? Independent of any external beliefs? Share your reflections and experiences in the comments below. Until our next encounter, may your path be filled with profound peace, deep understanding, and the radiant light of your own awakening.